All right. Take three. 3, 2, 1, go.
Episode 7.
Episode 7. We are. Jeez, it's so hard to do these intros. Three, 2, 1, go.
Episode 7.
We have now hit episode 7. Thank you guys for coming back and tuning in to another episode of Team Sessa Talks.
Very scary stuff today.
One thing I gotta say, because the way I set up the camera, they can see that we have a third mic. So
Who can see?
Whoever's watching. So just to let you know, we are planning on getting some guests in.
Oh, that mic there. Sorry, you were pointing over there.
I was pointing at this.
I thought you were pointing to our studio audience.
No, I was pointing at this. So we are planning on having guests in soon, right, Dad?
Yes.
That's going to be exciting.
Yes.
Because you're not the expert at everything.
I've been raising you guys to believe I'm the expert at everything.
I know, but then I realized you're not the expert at everything. There's other people.
Your mother told you that, didn't she? Your mother told you that.
Know some other stuff too. So yes, we are going to be having some guests come in. So that'll start soon. But for today, we have our Halloween themed episode, and we are going to be talking transaction horror stories.
Halloween is scary business. Sometimes real estate is scary business too.
Yes, I can imagine. Just dealing with some crazy clients.
We got a whole bunch of stuff to talk about here.
Okay, so let's get into it.
Scary situations that happen in real estate. A lot of people think, oh, you buy a house, you sell your house, it's cool, calm, relaxed.
Fun, exciting.
Fun and exciting. Those are all true.
Mm-hmm.
But there's sometimes some very scary, very tense situations.
Yes.
Okay, so let me also say, these didn't all happen to me. I have been involved in one or two of these that have been beyond my control, and we mitigate, and you know, we sometimes there's some rough waters out there.
Yeah.
But also, as realtors in our brokerage, we talk about certain situations that have happened to other people, so we try to avoid them, right? Okay, so there's a buyer client. We buy a house. Closing is in 6 months, and they're so excited.
Yeah,
they're moving up from their smaller house to a much larger house. They have a big, huge driveway now. We go through everything. We did the inspection on the house. We did the financing condition was in there. They speak to their bank. They're pre-approved financing. Everything is great. We go firm, and now the only thing left to do is wait to closing date.
Yeah.
So 6 months down the road, we're getting ready to close. But in that 6 months, they're so excited about their new place.
As anyone would be.
As anybody would be. They bought new furniture, which is, you kind of expect it. They bought new furniture, but they were a little shy on cash, so maxed out the credit cards, had lots of room in the driveway for a new jet ski, a snowmobile, and they bought a new car.
Okay.
Beautiful, right?
I feel like I see where this one is going.
You see. Have you seen this picture before? So it's 10 days or so before closing. They meet with their lawyer to sign documents to get ready for closing day. And the bank that was giving them the mortgage, it's like the truck comes to a skid. Wait a minute. You no longer qualify for your mortgage.
Oh, no.
Very scary stuff.
So because I imagine a lot of people, they get that pre-approval. They say you're good to spend this amount. That's it, right?
They're done. They get the pre-approval. They're done. Imagine.
That must have been a nightmare.
It was a nightmare.
That must have been a nightmare. Wow.
So everybody out there in TV land, once you're pre-approved, don't do anything to change your financial position till after the bank gives you the money. Then do what you like.
Yeah. Wow. That's definitely a horror story.
Yes. Also, people have been pre-qualified. This has happened to me, actually. My buyers were pre-qualified. We go through the financing condition. They get their mortgage broker says, yep, they qualify. No problem. You can waive the condition. We waive the condition. It's 2 months to closing. But part of their condition was that they had money coming in for overseas as part of their down payment.
Like a gift. Overseas gift or something?
Well, yeah, they call it a gift, so
Oh,
it's
okay,
it's
okay.
not a loan, but the idea is that money was coming in from overseas.
Mm-hmm.
A substantial amount of money that caused them to qualify for the mortgage.
Okay.
That money never came in. The part that you go at is they never told anybody.
What?
They knew early in the process that money wasn't coming in, but they never said anything to nobody, thinking, no big deal. About a week before closing, when they go to sign documents, I get a call from the bank saying, we need to add mother, father, cousin, neighbor, sister onto title, because on their own they're not qualifying anymore.
Oh man,
Yeah,
that's rough.
very scary stuff.
But how did they not tell anyone? How did they not?
I don't know. I don't know what sometimes
Where do
people
they
are
think,
thinking.
Where do they think the money's going to come from? That it's just going to appear?
I don't know. They get pre-qualified, and the bank, somebody says, the bank or mortgage broker says, yeah, we'll give you the money to buy the house, and they think that, well, it's done, finished.
Wow.
Until you actually get the money,
Yeah.
until the money gets transferred to your
Till
lawyer,
the deal is closed.
until it's closed, there's things that can go wrong.
Yeah. Wow.
So can you imagine? But it's not just, I can't buy the house anymore, and I guess it's my fault. I deserve it. I screwed
Yeah.
up, as the
No,
buyer.
never.
But what about those people that sold their house to you?
And now
They bought something else. So and they need the money from their sale to buy something else.
Oh my. That's
And
like
it could be another row down and another row down, like somebody selling to buy, selling to buy, selling to buy.
Yeah.
It's a complete chain reaction. It's complicated. Lawyers get involved.
Well, they have to. I mean, if you got to change closing. I remember we dealt with that quite a bit. Where there's one person that can't close, and because people buy and sell on the exact same day,
Yeah.
it's like a domino effect, and then you got 3 or 4 properties that aren't being closed on because the initial property couldn't close.
100%.
Oh,
It's scary, scary, scary business.
yeah, that's rough. That sounds rough.
Here's another scary thing.
Okay, what's that?
I'm going to see a house.
Mhm.
I'm representing the buyer. We're going to see a house, and there's renters there. They don't want to let us in.
Really?
Yeah. If you're a landlord and you've got renters and you're trying to sell your house, you probably know what I'm talking about. Sometimes to get the renters' cooperation
Yeah.
is like pulling teeth.
Yeah.
They don't want to cooperate. They don't see it as it's their house.
Mhm.
They're renting it, and why should they allow strangers into their space?
Yeah.
So I get there, I get a lockbox. There's no key in the lockbox because the renters took it out. I know they're inside. I'm knocking. I've got my buyers. The whole family is actually with me
Yeah.
to go look at this house. They specifically wanted that house because they could rent out the basement.
Yeah.
I can't even get into the house to show them.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
That's insane. But so how does that work?
Yeah,
when
and
it
that's
comes-
not so scary.
Mhm.
The scary part is when we get in,
Oh,
it's disgusting.
what do you see? Well, I
The
can't-
renters go
Yeah.
out of their way. And some of them are just dirty to begin with.
Yeah.
And it's a mess. And
This
it's
is, but
disgusting.
this is not all tenants.
No,
This is just
no. This is just
the horror stories.
The horror stories, the worst of the worst. The inside is disgusting. There's dishes in the sink that haven't been washed in, it seems, months. It's like there's a science project going on in the sink. They're growing penicillin or something. And it's terrible. And this is where your mother is really funny. By the way, my wife Sonia, full-time realtor.
Yeah.
That's Team Sessa here. You go in and there'll be a sign on the floor. Please remove shoes. You know, one of those real
Yeah.
estate signs. Please remove shoes.
Which is normal. It's
Which is
common.
normal.
Common.
But this house where the renters are, it's just disgusting. And your mother kind of sees the sign, and she's not taking her shoes off. Nobody's taking their shoes off.
She goes back to the car and shows them the virtual tour.
Yeah, something like that. Something like that.
Oh, that's funny.
So those are renters living in a
Yeah.
house. I'm sure every realtor has stories of they went into a house, there were renters there, and there's some crazy things that go on there.
Yeah.
And then I called the listing agent. You know how disgusting it is inside that house? And he says, yeah, that's why my client wants to sell it. He's having a hard time with the tenants. I go, but, why is that got to be our problem?
Wow, wow, wow. But what? So just I know we're having fun here, but how does it work with the tenants? If you do have tenants in there, and you wanted to book a showing, like what's the actual procedure for that?
Well, you got to plan it ahead of time. As the listing agent, you talk to the tenants. We're trying to sell the house. How can we accommodate? You need to respect the tenant's space.
Yeah.
And you work it out what time's convenient for the tenant. Talk to the tenant, make sure the tenant and the agent can exchange numbers so they can communicate. Any home I've sold that has had a tenant in it, so I'm representing the owner, but he has a tenant in the home.
Yeah.
We've always managed to work it out. I
Yeah.
show a lot of respect to the tenant. I appreciate it's their space, even though they're a tenant. It's as if they own the house during that time, and they might have kids, or they might have a dog or cat. They might not want people there during their.
And that's fair.
And it's fair,
Yeah.
and we work it out, and we respect the tenant's space, but try to get a happy medium where the tenant respects that the owner's trying to sell the place, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah, that makes
we
sense.
work it out. But boy, some of the situations, there's no way. And that's the tenant. So you could, as the homeowner, decide, you know what? I'm going to wait till the lease is expired. I'm going to wait for the tenant to go because I just can't predict what this tenant's going to do.
Yeah.
What if you have a neighbor from hell?
Oh.
There's no evicting the neighbor.
Yeah. No, that's it.
So I've gone into a house with, again, buyer clients,
Yeah.
showing them a property, and they were so excited, and the house looks great, and we go. There's a deck over the over the kitchen, a backyard deck. We go in, and as soon as you look over, there's it's like a mechanic garage in the back of the neighbor's house. They got, and this is not rural, but they got beaten up car parts back there that's just ugly, rusted. There's Hell's Bells playing in the background there, blasting music there. And it's just crazy. Like, who wants to live next to that?
Yeah.
It's unbelievable.
Oh,
unbelievable.
Well, someone that wants some free car repairs.
Maybe. I've got another crazy story. This, so far, I've been involved with. These are my situations. This one here, I remember in North York. I get called for a listing appointment. I go, there's a couple of issues wrong with this house. It's a small bungalow, but one of them, one of the rooms, you go into the bathroom and you look up. First, you look in the bathtub and you notice like pieces of insulation and drywall.
Okay.
And you look up and you could see sky. There was a hole through the ceiling of the bathroom and through the roof. And the bathroom was at the corner, so the gap between the ceiling and the actual roof line was very short.
Yeah.
Somehow, I don't know if it was a tree trunk, something came through there, and the owner was selling her house without repairing it. And I said, no. We got to get somebody in to repair this.
Yeah.
They were having financial issues. I ended up repairing that.
Wow.
Because it's just, it starts raining, something happens. But apparently this was like this for a while. And the lady told me, no, the water goes into the bathtub if it rains.
Are you serious?
There's an actual hole.
Oh
Yeah.
my God.
Another time, this is a true story. I said a lot of these didn't happen to me, but they've all happened to me so far. And I'm thinking about it now. Another one, I'm sitting in the living room.
Yeah.
Old home in Etobicoke,
Uh-huh.
talking to the couple, older couple. They're thinking of selling. Talk to them about the whole process, the whole listing presentation thing. And I hear a noise it was a bungalow.
Mm-hmm.
I hear a noise in the ceiling. What's that? And they go,
It's their
don't worry
kids.
about it. They're kids. Don't worry about it, they tell me. Oh, okay, we get talking. I hear more noise. And I go, is there something in your attic? And I say, every now and then, don't worry about it. And they ask me a question. So, and I'm excited to get the listing.
Yeah.
It was a big house. Next thing you know, I look up, something catches my eye from the corner, and there was a hole in the drywall. A raccoon's head is looking at us. I'm in the living room.
Oh my God.
There's a raccoon.
Oh, man.
I go, wait, there's a raccoon. And I like jumped up, freaked
Yeah.
out. Hey, you got a raccoon there. I'm thinking this is going to come inside. I haven't had a chance to tell my wife and kids how much I love them today. And I'm gone. This raccoon's going to eat us or
That's so
something.
funny.
And they acted like it was, oh, no, this is normal. It'll look around and then it'll leave. It's got its babies up there. I go, but how do you live like this?
That's nuts. And people actually lived like that. Lived with a raccoon as a tenant in the.
It's in. Are they
the
getting
attic.
rent? I don't know.
And
I don't know.
Those Toronto raccoons are scary too.
This is
those are
just
like-
the head sticks out and it looks at us like, huh? You want to sell, eh? Okay.
Good luck. Oh, that's funny.
Here's another story.
Yeah.
We go to listing presentation,
Huh.
and the house looks decent. It's an
Yeah.
older bungalow, North York again. Looks decent. They got a big backyard, and I go out and looking at the yard, and the owner's kind of standing on close to the door, saying, "Okay, let's go inside." I go, "Hold on, I just want to see the outside here a little more, and I want to see on the side what they got." And they're like, "No, come on in." Now the fence around this is the mesh fence, the triangular mesh fence, the
Okay.
wire
Yeah,
fence,
yeah.
so you could see through everybody's yard, right?
Yeah.
The property in the back, as I'm walking towards the back fence, all of a sudden, this monster Doberman comes out and barking and is running at the gate. And right behind it is 3 or 4 other Dobermans. That home was breeding Dobermans. And these were just vicious, wild. They were just freaking out, running towards that fence. And it wasn't an 8-foot fence. It was like a standard,
Yeah.
I don't know, what it was, 4 feet,
Yeah,
5
yeah,
feet.
4 feet, I think.
These Dobermans could jump that if they wanted to. And you know when you get so scared for the first few seconds,
Yeah.
you're like frozen, like, is this really happening?
Yeah.
Like it's like a nightmare where you're trying to run and
Yeah, and
your feet don't
just
move.
can't move. Yeah.
I just froze and they're coming at me, and then I'm like, okay, it's too late now, and I'm like putting my hands up thinking it's too late.
You gotta punch one of these
It's
things
too,
out?
I don't know. It's too late. I got to protect myself.
Wow.
And they didn't jump, but they stayed at the fence, barking, foaming at the mouth.
Oh
I'm like, and then I just kind of walk back, and I tell the owner, "How long has this been going on?" And that's when the owner said, "Oh, they breed them over there. Some of the neighbors, we've complained before, but there's nothing we can do."
Wow.
Wow. And right away I said, you're in a neighborhood where there's young families moving
Yeah.
in, raising their kids.
Yeah.
Like, all I need is a family coming to look at the house. They love it. The kids run into the back. The mom and dad are so happy in the kitchen. Oh, the kids love it. They're running through the backyard. They turn their back, look back to the backyard, and their kid's gone. And there's a
And now-
Doberman there
and now
licking its chops.
They have a new dog.
And they got a Doberman there. And I'm thinking, no, we
Oh.
can't do this. So the solution here was
Yeah.
I said, look, we can sell this and we can get this price, but you don't want the liability
Yeah.
that a family's walking through here with their kids and one of these Dobermans bites them.
Yeah.
So we need to put a 6-foot, 7-foot, 8-foot fence, whatever the bylaw would allow, but non-see-through wooden fence.
Yeah.
And the neighbors weren't gonna, where they actually have the Dobermans, they weren't gonna help out with this at all.
Mm-hmm.
So we just did it on our side, just the back.
Yeah.
And the Dobermans, funny thing, it was just sight. When they heard noise, no barking, no nothing. But if they saw you,
Yeah,
they were
yeah.
freaking out. So
Wow.
I had to deal with the fence people. I had to warn them, look, here's the situation there.
Oh, and they're working right beside these
They're
dogs.
working, and I had to tell the people that own the house to say, look, you got this situation to keep everybody happy. We're going to build this fence, but
Yeah.
for this day, for these many hours, you need to keep them out of the backyard, keep them in the house, allow them to build the fence, and then you'll have no issues.
Yeah.
And they were like, oh, okay, thank you.
Oh,
But
so they were cool with it?
they were cool because they must have been nervous the dogs are going to eat somebody. Oh, it was crazy,
That's
crazy,
nuts.
crazy.
So many different stories, so many different things that you see just going into other people's houses.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
It's
That
amazing.
really is.
It was scary. I'm telling you, that time my feet
And
froze.
you love dogs too.
I love
Yeah,
dogs.
we're a family of dog lovers here. So most times those things
But I don't like it
scare
when
us,
they want to
but-
eat me.
Yeah. Oh man.
Okay, so let's talk about some other situations.
That's funny.
It's moving day.
Okay.
Sellers are excited.
Yeah.
These are my clients.
Mhm.
Sellers are
So,
excited.
so hold on. You started this episode by saying not all of these happened to me, but it sounds like all of these have happened to you.
Yeah, let's not go there. Sellers are excited. It's a little bit stressful. I mean,
Yeah.
it's moving days, but they're excited.
Yeah.
Stressed, but excited. They pack. They got their individual husband and wife got their vehicles packed with little boxes. The movers got the moving truck packed.
Mhm.
They leave. They're headed to the house where they're moving into. Then they get a call from their lawyer. Hey, the people buying your house can't close today.
Oh my god.
Can you imagine?
Yeah.
Imagine them having small children, because they did. Small
Ah.
children. And they look at me and like, what can I do?
Yeah.
However, I find solutions.
Yeah.
There's different things I could do to help out. But at the end of the day, they need the money from their sale
Yeah.
to purchase the home that they're closing.
Yeah.
And this is why we try not to do closes on Friday, because if it's on Friday, you're waiting till Monday for things to get resolved.
That
So if
makes
you do
sense,
it
yeah.
on a Wednesday, Thursday, at most it's one night you're inconvenienced.
Yeah.
But there's so many costs. In this case, the buyers that needed to delay the close, they're the ones that had to deal with the payment
Yeah.
of this, at the expenses. But it also happens the other way, where the sellers arrive at the house, and the house they're buying, they've barely started packing.
Oh.
They were supposed to start early in the
Yeah.
morning. Their moving truck that broke down on the way.
Oh my.
So the mover sent another truck. And if this was a busy time,
Mhm.
there wouldn't have been no other truck.
Yeah.
So, but the movers had to send another truck, another crew. And everything just gets so
Yeah.
delayed. People get heated. They get upset.
I remember when I was working at the law office, we had that too, where it was we actually had a deal where the so we had our clients who had sold their home, we had closed the sale, and then they were buying a place, and they were already in the morning that morning. They were ready to move into the new place, so they had their cars packed, and they said, "Listen, we're waiting in the car. Just give us the call." Because their place was already sold. Just give us the call as soon as we get the call. We're driving over to the new place and we're putting our stuff in. We're so excited. Or no, as soon as they got the call, they were going to come to our office, pick up the keys, and then go to the house. And then we get a call at around, I think it was 1 or 2, from a mortgage broker that worked for the people that were buying our client's house. He
Okay.
says, "Hey, I'm so and so. And I'm calling because I'm trying to put together this deal."
Trying to put together?
Yeah, on the day of closing. I'm trying to put together this deal as fast as possible, but we're going to need another 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Oh, and our
2 weeks.
our clients were some of the sweetest people that I've ever met. And that's what made it even worse.
Yeah, it
'Cause
doesn't
then-
just happen to
yeah,
bad people.
And then and then I had to make that call and tell them, "Hey guys, listen, it's probably going to be extended because your buyers don't have their mortgage ready." And then but once you tell them that, it's like, then it's who else can they blame but you, right? Until they calm down and kind of understand the situation. Oh, but what a nightmare! And those poor people had to stay in a hotel. I think they had to stay in a hotel for 1 week, and then
Their furniture's in a truck.
Yeah, they actually had, if I'm not mistaken, they had all their stuff loaded into one of those boxes that was already sitting at the house.
Okay.
So their furniture was at the house already in one of those containers. Those companies that you load up the
yeah.
And so it was
The
at the house.
Cubit, I think.
Yeah,
is
yeah,
one,
something like that. And so it was at the house. And if I'm not mistaken, this also happened during winter. So it
Ah.
was just a nightmare. I felt so bad for these guys, but that's
We've had
stressful times.
I've had clients show up to the home that they purchased ready to move in,
Yeah.
and the house is full of trash and old furniture
And
that the previous owners
it
didn't. It's
just
just
ruins the
disgusting.
experience,
Yeah,
right?
and they call me and really, and I'm usually there actually when they go
Yeah.
to the house the first time, so I'm seeing this also. But all I could do is call a company to get this stuff out.
Yeah.
But like, what do you do, right?
Yeah. And that's the problem. It's like it really feels like, in certain situations their hands are just tied. They have nothing they can do. There's no like recourse or anything like that, but
More,
yeah, those are some
yeah,
horror stories.
more scary stories. We we do a visit
Mhm.
the day before to make sure that there's no holes in the wall.
Yeah.
They didn't scratch all the hardwood floors.
Because
And
that happens often where
yeah,
people are moving their furniture out,
yeah,
and then like a day or two before, you get tears in the drywall, you get broken tiles, stuff like that, just
yeah,
from moving everything.
yeah, and
Right?
it can be an accident.
Yeah,
But more often than not, the sellers don't say, "Oh, by the way, we
yeah,
damaged it," and well, they just move
yeah,
out and figure once they're out, they're out.
yeah.
Well, we did the visit the day before. Beautiful. Everybody's happy. Next day's moving day. My clients move in. Fridge, stove, dishwasher that were supposed to stay there, gone. Oh, and washing machine. Like all the appliances, gone.
Oh, and so now those are things that, unless specifically excluded, are
They're
supposed
not
to be
it. No,
included.
they were included. They should have been there as the shadows. They were gone.
But those things I'm saying, like those things are supposed to be there.
Yes, it was in the agreement of purchase and
Okay.
sale. They were included. They're gone.
Oh, what a
Oh,
nightmare.
we've seen where buyers or sellers try to switch them.
Oh,
Even the
okay,
photos
yeah.
on MLS have beautiful stainless steel appliances. They advertise, "Oh yeah, we bought this fridge just a few months
Yeah.
ago."
And then they got
Great, you buy it.
Nonna's 1980 white
Yeah.
fridge back in there
And
with a
then
wood panel.
they replace the appliances and
Oh,
it's like the end of the world
Yeah.
for your clients moving in. How can they do this to us? And I'm going to get my lawyer, and
Yeah.
they're justified.
Yeah.
But man, it's a nightmare sometimes.
Yeah.
Nightmare. How about when the seller or the buyer, like they've got an agreement of purchase and sale in place.
Yeah.
It's a legal binding contract.
Mm-hmm.
And a little bit before closing, they just simply change their mind. We don't want to sell anymore.
No, they can do that?
No. But they think they can. They just change their mind. You know what? We don't feel like moving anymore.
Oh my.
It was actually happening quite a bit in 2016, 2017.
Oh yeah. when
Sellers are
prices were
changing their
crazy.
mind because they sold it today. Closing's in, say, 60 or 90 days.
Yeah.
But they can get 50,000 more for their house now.
Yeah.
And their attitude is, you know what? We'll give you your deposit back.
Yeah.
We don't want to sell anymore.
Wow.
Oh, yeah. Major, major problems. They just
Wow.
change their mind.
Yeah.
And then they tell me as their realtor, or I'm representing the side that didn't change their mind, but
Mhm.
the other agent called me and said, "Hey, we got a problem." What's that? My sellers don't want to sell anymore. Well, what do you mean?
You got it. The
Like,
only
we
thing you
got
can
an
do is take
agreement.
that as a joke at that point, because like, how can you expect a call like that?
What do you mean? Yeah, they changed their mind. What?
Oh my
Where are they? Where'd they go?
god. That's insane.
Between realtors.
Yeah.
And it obviously involves the clients, but the wording in the agreements are so precise. There's a lot of realtors not meticulous in their wording.
Mm.
5 days versus 5 business days.
Very different.
Big difference,
Yeah.
right? The business days does not include weekends or holidays.
Yeah.
So if you've got a 5-day condition on home inspection, it's different than a 5 business day,
Yeah.
right? It can cause so many nightmares if you don't get it right. What about closing? We're going to put the closing date September 31st. What's the problem with that?
I don't know.
September 31st doesn't exist.
September 31st doesn't exist, right?
It
Right,
doesn't
right.
exist. But
Yeah.
the client will say, we'll close at the end of the month. And the agent, okay, September 31st.
Yeah.
It doesn't exist.
Yeah.
The date just doesn't exist.
Yeah, I feel like that. I've seen that quite a bit too, where people put on holidays. A lot of times they get put on holidays, on Saturdays.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You can't
stuff
close
like
on
that.
a weekend. Causes problems.
Yeah.
And I know, those of you out there are thinking, oh, it's like a little paper cut. Hey, in our world, these are major,
Yeah.
scary situations when, you think your condition expires today, but meanwhile it expires in 3 days from now.
Yeah.
We've had the clauses I get coming are just, it's amazing how many realtors don't actually take the time to write the clauses properly.
Yeah.
Or the conditions. This is a true example. I'm representing the sellers. The buyers have a home inspection condition, and one of the things that their home inspector finds is fireplace isn't working. It's a gas fireplace, not working. So the agent calls me and says, hey, gas fireplace isn't working. Will you guys fix it? Will you show us that it's fixed before closing?
Yeah.
I speak to the seller. Look, it's not working. The seller's like, oh, yeah, maybe it's just a pile of light. No problem. We'll get it fixed properly. I tell the guy over the email, yeah, we'll get it fixed. He says, okay, but just to keep my buyers happy, I'm going to create an amendment saying that you guys need to fix the fireplace.
Yeah.
Said, sure, whatever. We'll sign it. My clients, the sellers, have already agreed to fix it, so they'll have no problem signing it.
Yeah.
Well, the amendment we get is written, gas fireplace in living room, not working.
What do you do with that?
Well, I gave it to my seller saying, here, this is the issue that the gas fireplace isn't working. And when you read it, by initialing that as the seller, you're agreeing that it's not working. Okay. Okay. It's not working.
No need to fix it. We just both acknowledge that it's not working.
Both sides are acknowledging basically that it's not working, but there's nothing in there saying that the sellers,
Has to
on or
fix it.
before closing will have it in good working order.
Yeah. That's funny.
But so now my sellers were good people. We laughed it off.
Yeah.
They fixed it. But there could be sellers out there that won't and say, but you didn't tell me to fix
That'd
it.
be very
You said it's
take
not
advantage,
working.
yeah.
And we acknowledged that it wasn't working.
And that poor realtor is going to take a beating from his clients.
Exactly. You
All
know.
right, Pop, we have to. So we are at the 36-minute mark. I would say pick. Do you have how many stories do you got? How many more stories you got left?
Two stories.
Okay, let's do it.
Really quick.
Let's do it.
In estate sales, I have seen family stand up at a table
Ooh.
and start screaming and yelling at each other. And one of them makes a comment and turns to me and goes, right? Like apparently I'm on his side.
Yeah.
And then his sister starts yelling back, calling him a no good for nothing SOB, and looks at me and says, right? And I'm like, I'm in the middle. Like, guys, I'm trying to help everybody.
Yeah.
My job is to get you the most for the house. But, this internal, it's telling you, a nightmare.
Yeah.
A nightmare. My last story, we went to a listing presentation.
Okay.
Your mother and I. You open the door, and it's like a 2x4 hits you right across the head. The smell of cat urine. It's like, bah, right in the face. Cat urine. It's like, oh my God. No wonder they want to sell. You can't live here. And as you're walking through the house, some of the bedrooms had carpet, cat urine. The living room had carpet, cat, and you're seeing cats everywhere. I asked the owner, how many cats do you have here? She didn't know. At least 30 or 40 cats. But she didn't know. And I said, look, if we sell it like this, the way it is now, this is your price. And it's going to be someone who's going to come in and gut the place. If we do the repairs ourselves, get rid of the cats first thing, because there's no way you're going to put new floors in and then still have the cats.
Same problem.
Got to get rid of the cats. They all got to go. Keep them somewhere. These are my cats. actually, you're their human is probably more accurate than them being your cats.
Yeah.
And she didn't like the fact I told her, you got to get rid of the cats. You got to get rid of these cats. There's no way we can sell like this. Disgusting. No, but I want this price because that house down the street sold for that price. And I'm like, lady, do you understand?
Yeah.
Your place reeks of cat pee.
Yeah.
And it was like, it was in. I smelt it for days after I left that house. Smelt it for days.
That's gross.
That's my last scary story.
That is gross. That was a good segment. That was some serious horror stories there.
I'm getting chills just thinking about some of these.
Me
Just
too.
trying to remember
Me
some
too,
of these.
and I wasn't even involved. Wow. Oh.
Episode 7 is in the history books. Hope
That's
you're
it.
scared. I'm really scared. But we make real estate transactions not as scary as those ones you heard. These are the worst of the worst.
Oh my god. Okay, so yeah, thank you for tuning in. That was episode number 7. We will be back next week with episode number 8.
Well, yeah, after 7 comes 8. My son is so smart. University and everything.
4 plus 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's
He's
how it
so
works.
smart.
I think that's how it works.
So proud of him.
But yes, thanks again for tuning in. You can find this podcast. The video version is going to be available on YouTube, and you can find the audio version on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, and just about anywhere else you can go get your podcasts.
Why don't you start with that? Anywhere you get your podcast.
Yeah, I know.
Just start with
I
that.
feel like I've just gotten so used to saying it now that it's just kind of like memorized. Anyways,
Bye, everybody.
happy not Halloween, because our next episode we can say happy Halloween. Bye everyone. Thanks for coming back and watching. Okay.
Ciao. Bye-bye.
Awkward. Ciao.